Hello and welcome to UMass in Performance. I'm your host, Becky Harris. Today we have with us 3 members of the UMass Theater Guild's production of the musical thriller Sweeney Todd. Performing a few selections from the show, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Ben Sharton, Sam Mandeville, and off-camera but on piano, Rachel Mackenzie from Sweeney Todd.
What are we gonna do about him?
Later on, when it's dark, we'll take him to some secret place and bury him.
Oh, well, of course we could do that. I don't suppose he's got any relatives gonna come poking around looking for him, but... Well, you know me. Sometimes ideas just pop into my head and I'll keep thinking. Seems a downright shame.
Shame?
Seems an awful waste. Such a nice plump frame. What's his name as Nora can't be traced. Business needs a lift. Debts to be erased. Think of it as thrift, as a gift, if you get my drift. No? Seems an awful waste. I mean, with the price of meat, what it is, when you get it, if you get it.
Ha!
Good you got it. Take for instance Mrs. Mooney and her pie shop. Business never better, using only pussycat and toast. Now a pussy's good for maybe 6 or 7 at the most. I'm sure they can't compare as far as taste.
Mrs. Lovett, what a charming notion,
Well,
eminently
it
practical
does
and
seem
yet
a
appropriate as always. Mrs. Lovett, how I did
It's
without you all
naughty.
these years, I'll never know.
Think
How
about it. Lots of other
delectable,
gentlemen will soon be
how
coming
so
for a shave. Won't
undetectable,
they?
how
Think of
choice,
all
how
them
rare,
boys.
for what's the sound of the world out there?
What, Mr. Todd, what is that sound?
Those crunching noises pervading the air.
Yes, Mr. Todd, yes, all around.
It's man devouring man, my dear. And who are we to deny it in here? These are desperate times, Mrs. Lovett, and desperate measures are called for.
Here we are, hot from the oven.
What is that?
It's priest. Have a little priest.
Is it really good?
Sir, it's too good, at least. Then again, they don't commit sins of the flesh, so it's pretty fresh.
Awful lot of fat.
Only where it's at.
Haven't you got a poet or something like that?
Now you see the trouble with poet is how do you know it's deceased? Try the priest.
Heavenly! Not as hearty as bishop, perhaps, but then not as bland as curate either.
And good for business. Always leaves you wanting more. Trouble is, we only get it in Sundays. Lawyer's rather nice.
If it's for a price.
Or there's something else though to follow, since no one should swallow it twice.
Anything's lean.
Well then if you're British and loyal, you might enjoy Royal Marine. Anyway, it's plain, though of course it tastes of wherever it's been.
Is that squire on the fire?
Mercy, no, so look closer, you'll notice it's grosser.
Looks thicker, more like vicar.
No, it has to be grosser, it's green.
The history of the world, my love,
Save a lot of grapes to a lot of relatives' favors.
is those below serving those up above.
Everybody shaves, so there should be plenty of flavors.
How gratifying for once to know that those above will serve those down below.
Now let's see, we've got
Sutler.
Locksmith. Lovely bit of clock.
Maybe for a lark.
Then I get the sweep if you want it cheap and you like a dog. Try the financier, pick up his career.
That looks pretty rank.
Well, he drank, now it's bank cashier. Never really sold, maybe it was old.
Have you any beetle?
Next week, so I'm told. Beetle isn't bad till you smell it and notice how well it's been greased. Stick to priest. Now this may be a bit stringy, but then of course it's fiddle player.
No, this isn't fiddle player. It's piccolo player.
How can you tell?
It's piping hot.
Maybe I want it fast.
The history of the world, my sweet,
Oh, Mr. Todd, what does it tell?
is who gets eaten and who gets to eat.
And Mr. Todd, who gets to sell?
But fortunately, it's all so clear that everybody goes down well with beer.
Now, since Marine doesn't appeal to you, how about Rear Admiral?
Too salty. I prefer general.
With or without his privates? With his extra.
What is that?
It's pop, finest in the shop. Oh, we have some shepherd's pie peppered with actual shepherd on top. And I've just begun. Is the politician so oily? It's sad with a doily, not one.
Put it on a bun. Well, you never know if it's going to run.
Fry the fryer, fry destroyer.
No, the clergy is really too coarse and too mealy.
That actor, that's compactor.
Yes, and always arrives overdone. I'll come again when you have judge on the menu.
Wait, true, we don't have judge yet. What would you sell for the next best thing?
What's that?
Executioner.
Have charity towards the world, my pet.
Yes, I know, my love.
We'll take the customers that we can get.
I born and low, my love.
We'll not discriminate great from small. No, we'll serve anyone, meaning anyone, and to anyone at all.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Can you guys explain to me just a little bit of the context of that song within the performance?
Sure.